Hey everybody, it's Brian. Today we're going to talk about how to do rock, paper, scissors against a computer using Java. So you're going to need familiarity today with scanner. You're going to need familiarity with while loops, if statements, and some math random features in order to get the computer to make a random choice. So this is going to take a couple of videos. As you can probably guess, there are probably infinite amount of ways to make this game work. So you may see something that I'm doing that you don't like, or you wished I would have done something different. Just remember, everyone has their own style. I'm going to show you the way I think about it. I'm going to use a lot of abstraction in this, and you'll see what I mean by that. I'm going to pretend like I have functions available to me and then build them out later on. So it makes my code, to me, more readable. And let's see if we can figure out what I mean by that. So my first example of an abstraction I'm going to use right now inside the main method. Well, first of all, can I just kind of talk about this? I'm going to be using a scanner a lot. One way to make a scanner available within all methods is to make it a static scanner, public static scanner. Name it whatever you want. I called mine S and make it a new scanner. That way I can access this scanner from different places in the program. Since Chapter 5 games is going to contain a lot more games than just rock, paper, scissors, I'm not going to write any logic inside the main method. I'm just going to call this, I'm going to call a method called rock, paper, scissors game. And I'll just go like that. Okay, and that method does not exist, but if I hover over it, I can create the method stub for it. Now you guys will notice that it says private, the first word, and that's fine. Private and public really only matter when you're dealing with multiple different classes. Everything is going to take place in Chapter 5 games, and this is fine if it's private. You could change it to public if that's bothering you. So let's go ahead and make the rock, paper, scissors game, and I'm going to write some code that's going to look a lot like pseudocode, but really I'm just kind of looking at things from a big picture point of view, and then I'll fill in the details later. Okay, let's see if this helps you. I saw a lot of people writing a lot of detailed, kind of low-level, very specific logic in one huge block. So let me see if this maybe helps you develop your programming schema a little bit more. I'm going to abstract a lot of these processes. So let's take a look. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to ask how many games that the user wants to play. Okay, so let's just kind of prompt that. I could even abstract this, but I'm not going to right now. So how many games would you like to play? Okay, and let's kind of take that input as games requested, and that's going to be the scanner's next integer. Okay, and anytime I take a next int with the scanner, I like to consume the next line as well. If you've been watching my videos, you know I like to do that. Okay, so I'm going to eat the next line character. Okay, so now that I have games requested, I'm going to start the main game loop. Okay, so basically what I'm going to say is, let's also keep track of the number of games that have been completed. So you'll see some opportunities for this program to be kind of expanded upon later on, but let's just go ahead and actually, you know, I put that in the wrong place, didn't I? I'm gonna put that above so I don't like interrupt this next int and next line sort of sequence. So the games that have been completed so far have been none. The games requested will come from the user. So as long as the games completed is less than the games requested, we're going to run the game loop. Okay, and what does the game loop look like? Okay, well, I'm going to prompt the user choice. So I'm going to say the user's choice is the result of a function called prompt user choice. And you can kind of see me here now abstracting a lot of these processes. I don't have that function available to me yet, but I'll build it later. And you'll see that this is really going to help your main loop be a lot more readable. So let's look at the next one. The computer's choice is going to be the result of the same thing, right? But it's going to be prompt computer choice. Okay. Now I'll just fill these out later. I know what they're going to do. I can imagine what they do, right? I'm going to get rock, paper, or scissors from this. I'm going to get rock, paper, or scissors from this. And then I want to print the results. Okay, I would like to print the results. And this is going to be a function as well, but it's going to take in the parameters user choice and computer choice. So we can actually say that right here. So when we stub out these methods, when we create them, Java or the Eclipse program is going to really help us out and like make them just what they need to be with the correct parameters and everything. So after we print the results, we only want the game to count if the choices were not the same, right? So if you tied, I don't want that to count as a game, right? You play again if you're playing with your brother or whatever. That doesn't count as a game, right? Ties don't count. So what I'm going to say is I'm only going to increment the games completed as long as user choice dot equals computer choice. Now remember, this is the tie right here. Why did I use dot equals? Because I'm comparing strings, right? So if it's not the case that user's choice equals computer's choice, then what I'd like to do is increment the games completed. Okay, otherwise the loop is gonna start over with that game not counting, right? So the only way to get in here to complete a game is as long as it's not the case that user choice is the same as computer choice, and then somebody won, okay? So after this, let's say this is gonna run a bunch of times. The user gets to choose, the computer chooses, we print the results, and if it's not a tie, then somebody won, and we kind of keep going until the game is over, right? And then maybe let's just print a little message here. After the games are over, we'll do a little goodbye. Thanks for playing RPS, or rock, paper, scissors. And we can style it up a little bit. I don't know, and then do that on the other side as well. Okay, sometimes these little touches kind of make me happy. So there you go, right? So that kind of looks pretty. It's like sparkly. Okay. So now basically what we're going to have to do for the next part is we're going to have to write these methods. And we're going to determine who won and who lost, and inside of print results probably. The user choice will be prompted pretty easily. The computer choice is going to involve some random numbers. So let's go ahead and take this video right here, and we'll stop. And I hope you kind of understand what we did. I'm going to continue part 2. We're going to flesh out the sub functions and see, and then we'll probably get to testing the game as well. And then we'll try to improve the game by like keeping records of how many wins and how many losses, and then maybe make a 2-player version of the game. Okay, so let's kind of see how far we can go with this thing. But this will be it for video number 1, and we'll come back here in video number 2. I'll see you guys in a second.